Okay. So we're going to start, and I'll start recording. Oh, it's already recording.
Yeah.
So thank you all for joining us in our new platform. The good thing is we're recording this for all the people who haven't successfully made it in yet. And we'll be sending it out. But we're excited that Stuart from Mr. Appliance is going to share some stuff about limiting liability. Stuart, if you want to give yourself an introduction and then get started, that would be great.
All right. So for anyone that doesn't know me, my name is Stuart Plyburn. I am a franchise business coach with Mr. Appliance. Sorry, I don't have it in my name thing on the bottom. I'll figure that out. Trust me. But as you can see from my background, it's definitely the Mr. Appliance logo. So I have been in this business for 36 years, 6 with Mr. Appliance and 30 for a company you might have heard of, Sears Product Service, A&E Factory Service. Started out as a technician and worked my way through tech manager, the routing, district repair, all kinds of fun stuff. Ended my career in loss prevention. So dealing with not only employee theft, but accidents, liability insurance, workman's comp, and auto accident claims. So this is a subject that's near and dear to my heart. It's amazing how much money we can lose on the back end on simple little things. So I hope I hope none of this is new to you. I am easy to get along with, so jump in to ask questions. I'm not sure I'd see them in the chat right now. So feel free to jump in and ask questions. Let me go ahead and share my screen, and let's see if you see the right thing. There we go. Should be that one. Share. Okay, so you should just see my limiting liability. Nice big white screen. Anybody?
Yep.
Yes, good deal. All right, good deal. All right, we don't need this because you've already seen it. So I want to start out by asking a question. Do you believe that accidents happen? It's just one of those things. There's nothing we can do about it. I see some folks shaking their heads. Huh? I'm sorry, John?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. I hate to hear that, but I hope I can change your mind. So yeah, accidents happen and accidents are expensive. What I want to do in this hour is I want you to change your mindset to accidents can be avoided. I don't want to hear about accidents happening. Accidents are human nature. That's just part of our business, a big part of our business, as a matter of fact. And I kind of go back to the railroads and the old times. So trains were around before there was cars. You had horses and horse and buggies, but the railroad crossing with the gates and the lights and everything, that wasn't put in until the automobile was invented. When folks had horses to rely on, a horse is not going to go in front of a train. It doesn't care that you're late. It doesn't care that you don't want to sit there. It's going to sit and wait for the train to pass. Well, we got rid of horses. We went with cars, and people have other things to do, and therefore they run in front of trains and they get hit. And we had to develop railroad crossings to stop that risk-taking nature and hopefully not get ourselves killed. So if any of you out there are more my age, in the older crossings that didn't have the gate, there was always a sign underneath the railroad crossing sign that said, stop, look, and listen. And I want you to kind of remember that when you're in our situation, when you're coming to your customer's house, your new workstation, stop, look at what's around you. And when you're working, listen for problems, like when you're pulling the back cover off of that refrigerator and you hear the styrofoam breaking because it's stuck in ice. or you start to pull that refrigerator out and you hear the glass breaking underneath. Stop. So let's go ahead and let's start from the very beginning of a service call. Here's your customer's house, and we're driving up. Where are you going to put your van?
On the street.
On the street. Good. Why are we going to do that?
It shows my sign to the customer better.
Great.
Also, if there happens to be a oil leak or something, I'm not going to stay in that drive.
That's right. You want that customer to remember you. You definitely don't want them to remember you every time they look at that stain on their driveway. Yeah, talk about a bad impression. And you're right. I mean, look at that pretty wrapped van. I'm sure all of you have spent a whole lot of money putting your logos, etc., on that van. You definitely want that neighbor, that whole neighborhood, everybody that drives by to know, hey, we're here and we work on appliances. We can work on yours too. Look at the view from the driveway itself, looking back. There's those 3 vehicles across the street. Most of the time, technicians pull in forward. They're going to have to back out. And there's 3 chances to run into another vehicle. And in this case, the mailbox, this one's not bad. This one's just a metal post and a metal box. And if you hit that, there's going to be a little damage to the bumper of the truck and, a mailbox to fix. But what about those folks that have the big brick mailboxes, rock mailboxes? Man, that's going to do a lot of damage to your vehicle. And if you hit it hard enough, you're going to have the mailbox to fix as well. Something that I didn't consider that I've added to this demonstration lately was that customer that feels trapped. I never thought of that, but doing this class, I had one of our folks say, you know what, when that technician pulls into the driveway, my car is either in front of them or in the garage. And now I can't get out. I am trapped in my own home. Look at some of our techs. They're big people. They could be somewhat scary at times, I never thought about that feeling for the customer, but I can see it now that it's been told to me. We don't want that customer to have any kind of bad feelings from us. So pull that van out into the road and advertise. All right, you're out in the road now onto the side. There's your customer's house. How are you going to get to the door? You going to go across the lawn?
Use their sidewalk.
Yeah. Sidewalk, walkway. People spend a lot of money making their yard look like that, or a lot of hard work. The last thing you want to do is mess up or disrespect that yard by walking across it. Use the sidewalk, use the walkway. I don't know about you, but I know for me, I don't use my front door. I pull in the driveway, I open the garage, pull into the garage, and I come into the house through the laundry room and into the kitchen. Most folks don't use that front door. So hornet's nests, wasp nests, things like that are common on that front door. How many of your techs are allergic to bee stings? Do you even know? Might be something to think about. Last thing you want to do is lose a tech for a day to run to the dock in the box. And remember, every time you go to the dock in the box, it's $500, no matter what it is. But there's that hornet's nest. People are great about putting those wreathen things on their front door. San Antonio's famous for the Fiesta ribbons and stuff like that, but they sit there forever. And hornets will use those as well to make nests in. You knock on that door and all of a sudden you've got a cloud of angry bees, or that customer opens the door and now both of you are surrounded in bees and stuff. So if you see that, if you look ahead of time when you go up to that front door, you can now call that customer and say, hey, this is Stuart with Mr. Appliance. I'm at your front door, but there's a hornet nest there. is there a better door I can come into? And they'll say, of course, come on around to the garage. What about animals and pets? Do you say anything to the customer ahead of time about that? Or what if they open the door and there's a pet? Nobody? So there's my dog Fluffy there at the bottom, showing his teeth just to let you know they're nice and brushed. Fluffy's never bit anybody. Are you going to trust him? I've only been bit twice in my life. Once as op and once in this job coming out of a customer's house. The dang thing ran out from under the house. But I've had lots and lots of techs bit over the years. Cats, the dang things, we've seen them up on the counters and up on the cabinets in the kitchens, and they've jumped down on my tech's shoulders, scaring the daylights out of the tech. Don't take that chance with the customer's dog. What I used to do is say to them, I love Liability, but your appliance is all the edges are rounded and everything's soft and taken care of where you use the appliance. But I'm going to open up the back. It's sharp in there. There's live voltage in there. It's not safe for Fluffy to be around me while I've got this. Is there a place you can put him up? Is there another room he can go into, or could he go in the backyard? And see if they'll do that. Now, be careful with the backyard too. I had to specify fenced backyard because I had a customer do that. They let the dog out the back door, and I thought, okay, good. Did my diagnosis, needed a part, went out to the van, and there's the dog coming around the back of the house when he heard me. The yard wasn't fenced in, so letting the dog out didn't do a whole lot of good. How about a tetanus shot? Have your techs had a tetanus shot? More dogs and cats carry tetanus than they do rabies. It's just one of those things. The nature of the beast. Tetanus is in their saliva. You need a tetanus shot every 10 years, a booster every 5. If you're an anti-vaxxer, I'm sorry, but to me, as a safety person, I really recommend that your service professionals, your technicians, have a tetanus shot just in case. Not only the dogs, but we deal with rusty metal and stuff like that too. So why take a chance? All right, so the door is open. It's safe to come in, and you're looking, and there's the living room that you've got to cross to get to that nice white kitchen. How are you going to do that without getting anything dirty? Anyone? Shoe covers? Do any of you use shoe covers? Robert, you turned your mic on. Do you use shoe covers?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. You don't call them booties, do you?
We call them shoe covers,
Good.
and we have a trifold that technician has to take a picture of as he's closing up the ticket. In that picture, I want to see his shoe covers.
Nice. Very good. Yeah, these are, I get it. The tech's going to tell you, oh, they're slippery. They make them with a gripping bottom. And yeah, they can still slip a little, but you get used to wearing them if you'll just wear them and understand how to walk so that you don't slip. I've found that if you call them shoe covers instead of booties, you have a much better chance of your male service techs actually wearing them. When you call them booties, they don't want to wear them. How do you know that they're wearing them?
Picture of the trifold at the end of the call.
Yep, you got the picture. That's great. Any other way?
You get a lot of compliments from the customers. They'll
Good.
put on your Google reviews that they appreciated the technician wearing their shoe covers.
That's great. How many boxes of shoe covers are you ordering every month? They're disposable. You should only wear one set per house, And if you go out to the truck, you should take them off and then put them back on when you come back in the house. Don't wear them to the truck. They should be thrown away each time. So you should be ordering boxes of shoe covers every month. If your shoe cover's out in your warehouse, if that box has got dust on them, your techs aren't wearing them. They're not being used. And you're taking a chance of cleaning somebody's carpet or floors or anything. And another way I've always gotten techs to use them is to just remind them, sometimes you're not protecting the customer's floor, you're protecting your shoes. We've all been in kitchens like that in this business, and hopefully they're few and far between, but sometimes they're there. All right, so we've got this nice white kitchen. What kind of dangers? What could go wrong in this kitchen? What do you see just looking at it?
Like the wood floor.
Yeah, yeah, laminate floor. You got a chance of dropping things on it, moving an appliance out on it, not only scratching it, but think about that refrigerator. That's an awful big refrigerator, and if it's full, it's heavy. And I've seen where even the rollers have made ridges in a laminate floor. What else?
It looks like that island. If you pull that refrigerator out, that island could be in the way.
Good eye. Yes, sir. I can't tell you, HGTV, everybody's got to have an island now. And so a lot of times these things were put in place while the appliances were still there. And yeah, you're going to open that door into the island. Or if you pull it out, it's going to hit the island. So yeah, definitely something you want to bring up. Maybe put a pad on the corner of the island. Sure. To me, the white countertops. Where are you going to put your tools? Where are you going to put your tool bag?
Tool mat.
Tool mat. Nice. What about your tool bag?
Tool
Where's
mat.
that go? On a tool mat. Great. You're going to use the same tool mat on the floor that you would use on the countertop? Good. Yeah. I always had two different colors. My aqua one went on the floor and my brown one went on the countertop. So I always knew which one was which. The other thing I look at with this is the over the range microwave, and that range being right there. If you're working on that microwave, what kind of belt is your tech wearing? If he's got a metal buckle in the front there, you're taking a chance of scratching that oven besides that range. So yeah, good eye. Good going.
So a little tip on that. I know if you look up tool mats, they can be very expensive.
Yeah.
But if you look up yoga mats, you can get a yoga mat for $5 and you can cut it to whatever size you want.
Yeah.
Cool. So as those tool mats start to get dirty and dingy looking, swap them with the new one. Yoga mats work out really well.
That's great. I noticed too at ASTI the last couple of years, several of the vendors at the vendor show have had tool mats that they were giving away. That's cool. That's great tip. Thank you. All right, so maybe you're going to the laundry room instead. So let's look at the one to the right there with the stack pack in it. What kind of liabilities, hazards do you see there?
Workman's comp if he's trying to move that dryer off that machine by himself.
Yeah, and it's also kind of tight in that cabinet, isn't it? That's going to be a little bit of a bear to come out. Air sled, pull them both out together, maybe at least as a start. At the same time, what about that runner, that rug? Even if you're using like an oven dolly to move the dryer onto and roll away, good chance you're going to get caught on that rug or slip on it yourself when you're trying to move that dryer. Yeah, good call out. How about the one on the right then? What do you see there?
That bifold door would have to come down to get that washer and dryer out easily.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody like those bifold, those accordion doors?
No.
God, I hate those things. My goodness, because nothing comes out. They're in the way. What about the countertop? It's awful close. Do you think the countertop comes off, or are you going to have to move the appliances out? Yeah, it's good thought. But if the countertop comes off, then there's nice glass bottles and stuff on there, other things that could get damaged in moving. And again, if the countertop comes off, I look at the clothes. At least those are wooden hangers. But your techs are still going to hit them with their heads and knock stuff down. Um, I had one that didn't have the countertop, and it was wire coat hangers. And of course the tech banged into some of the hangers with his head and knocked them off. And he had pulled the dryer out just enough that part of the cord came out with it. And when that hanger went down behind the dryer, it of course hit power and ground and made a nice spark and cut off a lot of breakers and made a nice cloud of smoke. And yeah, customer was real happy, real happy. So something else too, before you ever get a tool out of the bag, look. Remember I said stop, look, and listen. Look at the appliance. Look for all the scratches, dents, dings. Look at the floor. Look at the wall. How many times is there a scratch on the floor already from something else, not even from the appliance? Or how many times has the washer drain hose, it rattles and moves on the back wall and leaves those black marks on the black wall, on the white painted wall? Customers live with scratches, dents, and dings every single day, and they don't see them anymore. But the second your tech leaves, every single scratch, every dent is suddenly noticeable. And the first thing that pops in their head is, oh my goodness, look what the tech did. I always point that stuff out to the customer. I listen to them. I tell me what's going on with the appliance. That's great. I've got a good idea of what I'm doing. This is a terrific appliance. You did a great job with picking the appliance out. I see the two of you have had a few battles over the years. And that's when I point out the scratches and stuff, the dents and dings on the wall. Don't make fun of oh my goodness, how did that happen? Who is stupid enough to make this scratch? I just want to make sure that the customer knows those things are there, and it's ahead of time. And for me personally, I would always put that in my tech comments that all this stuff is there. Anybody do anything else?
So we do a before and after picture.
Nice.
We throw that in the service desk and get a picture of the model and serial number. But as we're doing that, we're asking the homeowner to explain what's going on, and maybe we have permission to take a picture of the model and serial and of the unit. They've never said no.
That's nice.
Then I have a good reference to say, this is the picture when we told you we were taking a picture. This is a picture when we're done. So
yeah, absolutely. Date and time stamped. Pictures are wonderful things. Phone, iPad, computer, whatever you're using to do it, that's great. Absolutely wonderful. Fantastic. Good job. All right, so this is just a collection of simple things. We already talked about it. Tool mat. There's all kinds of different tool mats out there. Again, I recommend one for the floor, one for the countertop. Scuff shield. If you guys don't know what a scuff shield is, please go to Amazon and type in scuff shield. Those things are worth their weight in gold. Now, I did take mine and I did file one edge, one side, and the front down a little bit just to make it easier to roll a refrigerator on. They're a little thick to be effective. And sometimes it's a little tough getting that refrigerator up there if it's a big one. But my goodness, scuff shields are so effective. Now, Are any of you using them? First off.
Definitely.
So have you ever gone out and inspected them? They're plastic. And how many times do you drop, a bottle of glass in the kitchen? Glass goes under the refrigerator, goes under the dishwasher. You don't see it, you don't pick it up, but you're putting that scuff shield there. And when you roll the appliance on it, you're now pushing that glass into the scuff shield. And it could very well stay with the scuff shield. I always took old t-shirt basically, and I had my cut resistant gloves on at the time. But every time I went to put my scuff shield away, I would run that old t-shirt across the surface, looking for sharp edges and stuff. And sometimes a scuff shield have to be replaced. I've also cut those down, so I had a smaller shield for tighter places if I had good sections and bad. But a scuff shield is worth its weight in gold. It really is. I've got a canvas tarp up there, and I used to carry that. I used to carry a big army blanket. At Sears, we did a lot of warranty work, and Whirlpool was really big about changing out stainless steel tubs on dishwashers. So there was a lot of times I would take that blanket, I would throw it right across the whole kitchen floor and set the new tub on there and lay the old dishwasher down on my scuff shield and start transferring parts back and forth. When I did compressors, I would have it, it would be folded 5 or 6 times over, but the first thing on the floor is that. Then my heat blanket and stuff like that. So those can come in handy. The braze barriers. Now, again, I've been in this business so long. Mine's actually asbestos. I keep it just, yeah. I keep it just as an artifact, But they make all kinds of good. Not only these cloths, but there's a paste also for those really tight ones that you can put around that absorbs heat. I like to go to Goodwill. You can find pans and bath towels at Goodwill. Have you ever asked a customer for a towel? Yeah. Yeah. You know what towel that Mister is going to give you, right? The white bath towel from the guest room. Yeah, put that on the customer's floor and wait till the lady of the house comes home and see what happens. I always had my own bath towels. You can buy them for 50 cents at Goodwill. So I always had 10 or 12 in the van. Have your own towels. And the same thing with pans. You can get jelly roll pans, which will go under some of the dishwashers. All kinds of different sizes and shapes to go in all kinds of different places. It was always nice to have. Blue shop towels. Did any of you use those?
Yep.
The thing I love about them is nice powder blue. Go ahead and drop 1 drop of water on that thing. Big dark blue stain, right? Not only can you wipe your hands with those things, but let's say you just put a water valve on or a pump or something. Roll out 4 of those and slide them underneath the dishwasher, or underneath the washing machine. Heck, do 8 and put them all the way across. And then go ahead and turn the machine on and do your test to make sure you've actually fixed it. And pull those out when you're done and see if there was any leaking. Talk about a cheap, quick, easy thing. I've even put those and left them sticking out a couple of inches and told the customer, I said, now I've done this already myself and everything looked good. First time you go and use this though, go ahead and pull that out. And if you see any dark blue staining on there, you call us. Your numbers, our numbers on the card I gave you and on our magnet, call us and I'll be right back out to take care of that for you. I just want to double check. It's a nice little safety thing. How about zip ties? Why would I have zip ties on here?
God.
Zip tie your drain hose.
There you go. Yes. Whirlpool has made that nice little metal clamp for however many years. A lot of other manufacturers have got the plastic one. You know, even if it's had that, I've put zip ties on as well. If I pull a dryer out and I see there's not a zip tie on the washing machine, I go ahead and I throw a zip tie on it. They're 7 cents. You know, what does a flood cost in a house? Thousands upon thousands of dollars, right? I mean, my goodness. And you know, your customer calls you back and says the you know, your tech left it out. I'm going to look for that zip tie, because most likely the customer went to move it and they cut the zip tie off, and when they did, it went flying. So there it is on the floor. It's under the dryer. It's under the washer, and you find it, and it's got cut marks on it. It's like, wait a minute. Here's the zip tie my tech put on there. Here's the picture, and see it's stamped, date stamped, and time stamped right before he left. Here's that picture. That zip tie was on there, and see how somebody cut it off. So who moved the machine? Because there's nothing worse than a drain hose accident, especially now. People put washing machines on the second floor, you know, so bad enough that you'd have the leak and you'd have the damage on the floor there and whatever other room it went into and the cabinet, but now you've got the ceiling of the room below, maybe furniture, maybe appliances, and the floor on that second floor. And if they have a basement, now you're looking at another ceiling and more property and maybe another floor if it was a finished basement. All because you didn't put a 7-cent zip tie on an appliance. Oh my goodness. No. What about if nature calls? Is it okay for your technician to ask the customer to use their bathroom? Boy, you guys are quiet.
It's a trick question.
So it was, yeah, and for good reasons. For me, no, no, absolutely not. Again, I've seen so many times where bathrooms are white. There's a fancy carpet. There's white towels. There's those little egg seashell shaped soaps. That bathroom is not for going; it's for showing. And there your tech goes in there and doesn't think twice, just uses the facilities, and now the white towels are dirty and the shell soaps don't have the shell pattern on them anymore. Oh my goodness, what's the matter with you? Why did you do that, you monster? Your guys know where all the clean bathrooms are. They know where the good restrooms are. I mean, heck, they go and they get coffee in the morning and they check out the restrooms. They know where the safe places are. They know where to go. Don't use a customer's bathroom. If you're sick, you shouldn't be working anyway and making your customer sick. So stay home. But when you're working, don't use a customer's bathroom. I had a technician in the Houston area, a lead tech. So he was training another tech at the time, pulls up to the customer's house. The customer's outside mowing the lawn. The washing machine's upstairs. He shuts off the lawnmower, takes them upstairs, shows them what's going on with the washing machine, says, hey guys, I'm going to go back out and finish mowing the lawn. You need anything? I'm there. No problem. Tech start working on the washer. The lead tech says, hey, you got this. I'll be back in a second. He goes into the master bedroom, uses their bathroom, and comes back out and is back helping the tech. A few minutes later, the customer comes running into the house. Oh my God, what have you guys done? You're flooding my house. The toilet was broken. The tech didn't know that. The customer didn't tell him because he didn't expect him to use the bathroom. The toilet's overflowing. So they rush in, they shut the water off. I've got now the toilet, of course, is broken worse than it was before. So I've got a toilet to fix. I've got a floor in the bathroom that's damaged. I've got a counter in the bathroom that's damaged. The water went through to the bedroom closet on the other side of the wall. I've got a rug, I've got shoes and all kinds of other stuff that's damaged. The water went through the ceiling in the garage, blew out a fixture. The water splashing got tools and stuff wet, which the customer says were ruined. But even worse than that is it leaked on his 1968 Camaro, and that was toilet water. And he now wants his baby repainted. It ended up being a $168,000 claim when all the damage, et cetera, was taken care of and finished. And I actually got it down to 142, 143, something like that, because I didn't repaint the Camaro. I had it detailed instead. He settled on getting it detailed. So, yeah, I mean, don't use a customer's bathroom. I've had so many arguments with customers over the years, so many mad customers calling me because the towels were dirty, the rug was moved, whatever the tech did was just, awful. Just avoid it. Go to the bathroom and other places. We were all taught to clean up after ourselves, right? You weren't raised in a barn, throw your stuff away, put your plate in the sink, clean your room. We all were raised that way. So don't fill up a customer's trash can with part boxes and things like that. You want to take all the garbage with you. But when's the right time to leave a part with a customer?
When there's been damage in the home.
Fantastic. Yes, absolutely. Now, some of your customers are going to say, hey, can you leave that for me? And if that's the case, I would put that in the tech comments, and I could leave that for them if they really wanted it, unless it was a core part. And then in case I would say, okay, so this board is a core, and there's a $60 charge, so I'd have to charge you $60 more if you want that.
Look at this.
And 9 times out of 10,
we do. Ooh,
Perry, put yourself on mute.
I think I do. I just pulled 2 or 3 of them off. You want to take
Perry.
a picture of that? See if
Perry, can you mute yourself?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. So yeah, normally if you say, hey, there's a $60 core charge, they're like, that's okay, take the part. But yes, anytime a part does damage, you definitely want to leave that part with the customer. Show them, this is the damage. I rolled the refrigerator out and there's that burn spot, and it's because this compressor got overheated or whatever. Here's the warped floor because this valve leaked. And explain to them exactly what happened, etc. Show them that broken part. And I would tell them, I'm going to leave this with you because I know you're going to call your insurance company and they're going to want the part. So make sure you don't throw this away. You're going to need it. And I would write that in my tech comments, left part with customer because of floor damage. What's going to happen is that insurance company is going to call Whirlpool or whoever and say, hey, your refrigerator, the water valve leaked and it destroyed the floor. And you'll give them all the information off the fridge and they'll say, well, that fridge is 5 years old, but that water valve should have lasted more than 5 years. Send us the valve. And if it's a defective valve, then yeah, we'll pay the claim. And the customer will say, what do you mean send you the valve? I don't have the valve. The tech took the valve. Oh, well, then without the valve, we're not paying the claim. There's no proof that our refrigerator did that. Now the insurance company is going to say, well, Whirlpool would have paid that if only your tech had left the part. So now the insurance company is going to get you and say, hey, if your tech had left the part, this claim would have been paid. So now you owe the customer this money. And now you've got a fight on your hands and liability insurance that could very well be going up. So definitely you don't want to do this. Leave that part with the customer. Even if it's a core, I'll take the hit on that one and I'll leave it with the customer just because I don't want to deal with the insurance company. And insurance right now is hard enough to get, isn't it? And expensive enough. The last thing I want is to have to deal with that. So, in conclusion, please remember two things. Leave the house better than when you got there, right? The appliance is repaired or parts are ordered and it's about to be repaired. That customer can relax now because you've taken care of it. Stop, look, and listen. Look out for that train. Don't let that liability train hit you. Um, you know, be careful. Use your scuff shields. Use your blankets. Use your tool mats. Please use your tool mats. It's all I got in the way of slides. I was sort of hoping for more discussion. Anybody want to join in? Tell us about some things that have happened with you.
So one
One
of
of
the
the
things,
things
go
I was
ahead.
going to say, Stuart, in lieu of this scuff shield, I'm an
Yeah.
old guy. I used to stop into the Home Depot or Lowe's once a year and get a 4x8 sheet of masonite and cut it,
Yes.
have them cut it in half. And
Yep.
I'd keep a half of that sheet on my truck all the time. And I never, ever moved an appliance without having that down on the floor. I've never
Absolutely.
had a floor damage claim in 50 years. So
Fantastic. Good for you. That's great. Yeah. Yeah, Masonite's it's simple, it's easy, it slides right into the van. My goodness, it blocks the stuff so people look in, they can't see what's in there. Yeah. No, that's terrific. Who else?
So we have a liability waiver on our
Okay.
leave behind. So before we start the work, customer has to sign that waiver that minor scratches or scuffs are typically could happen in this repair. Also, if there's been something we worked on that had water, that tells them that they're to watch that for the next 7 loads or 7 days, and puts a little of that responsibility on them as well.
Yeah.
You know, not to start that washing machine and then go off on vacation.
Oh, geez. Yes. Or go to bed. Start the washer, start the dishwasher, and go to bed. And then wake up the next morning to a flood. Yeah. Who wrote your waiver? Was it
So I didn't write the waiver, but we reached out to an attorney and got
Good.
some direction on how that waiver works.
That'll help. Yeah. They'll put the right language and wording in there to make it harder for the customer to fight. But yeah, that's great. What about you got to turn the water off to work on a washer or a dishwasher, and that valve is all rusty and corroded. What do you do about that?
Well, ideally, hopefully that tech's going to have the homeowner shut that water off, because you're
Yes.
going to point it out to them and tell them that valve could fail.
Exactly. Yeah. Here's the deal. We have this liability waiver, and you can see this is all crusty and stuff, and it hasn't been turned in forever. There is a chance when we turn this, it's going to start leaking, and you're going to need a plumber, or it might break off, and we're really going to have a problem.
We've had that happen with you have to shut the whole house down because there's
Yeah.
no proper valve, and then that whole house valve fails. So you go in there, they have working water, and when you're done, you're like, your water won't turn back on. But it's hard to explain that to a homeowner.
It is.
The valve should be functional. I should be able to shut it off and turn it back on, and it
Yeah.
failed. It's like if I'm going through your door and I grab a hold of your doorknob and it comes off in my hand. It's not my fault. It means you had something wearing out in your home, and it just happened to fail with me.
Exactly. 100%. And that's why, again, those waivers are great. At Sears, we used it for if we pulled an appliance out, we had the waiver. You could pull it out or I'm going to pull it out. If water has to be turned off, you can turn it off or sign the waiver and I'll do it. But here's the chances we're going to take. And normally a good customer, when they see that valve is all corroded, etc., when they see you really took every care you could to turn it off and not cause damage, then they'll understand. But we have those customers, don't we? We all have that one or two customers. Yeah.
Or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7.
Yeah. I had a water valve break off in an apartment complex with a technician. He was on the 6th floor, and they had no idea it was the water valve behind the refrigerator. She had no idea where the shutoff valve was in the apartment, and the tech scrambled around, saw a hatch, turned that valve off, didn't do a thing. The customer called the maintenance people. He went out in the hallway, found another hatch, turned that valve off, didn't stop it. Finally, they said, "Look, go out to the road and turn it off," and they couldn't find the right valve to turn off at the road. It was on for an hour before the plumber got there to fix it. The tech had stuck rags in it and his pen and all kinds of other stuff trying to get the flow to at least slow down. But there were 3 apartments at the end of the day that had water damage because it took so long to get that water stopped.
Not that it's going to stop the water, but if you ever have that situation happen, you go to the outside hose bibs, you turn those on. You turn every faucet inside the house on to get as much water to go down a drain or outside rather than all that force coming through that one valve.
Exactly. Slow the flow down. Yes, sir. 100%. Yeah. I started carrying a lot of stoppers, rubber plugs, basically with a nut and a bolt on it. And so if you can get it in the holes and then start tightening it, it'll expand and stop them. Yeah, I mean, and I had pliers that cut them off, anything like that. What else? Anybody else? Any other thoughts? Any idea we didn't come up with? Who's got a good idea out there? Nobody's got ideas. Well, then, from the presentation.
Okay, well, I thank you all for joining. We do want to hear more. This is time to share ideas and brainstorming. I think we got some really good. Stuart's presentation was helpful. As we said, this will be available for replay. So if you wanted to get any of your techs logged in to watch some of this, just let us know. We can help you get them logged into the system so they can watch the replay of it. But yeah, if there's any other questions about this or about anything about UASA, I'm happy to go down that road as well. If you guys have any questions on this topic or others.
You're all coming to ASTI, right?
Oh, yeah.
Good deal.
Yep, ASTI.
Who wouldn't want to go to Kansas City in January? Really?
What else you got to do? Come on.
It's going to be great. It's going to be really great. We're not going to think about that, Steve. Thank you for.
I know.
But it is going to be a good event. The facility is really going to be a nice place for us to be. You can get places without having to go outside. Once you get to the hotel, it's connected to Union Station. It's connected to Crown Center, which is a mall. So everything is accessible. You don't have to be venturing out too much. But we do hope to have classes listed on the website here probably mid-October. So if you guys have ideas on classes, I know many of you on this call have submitted some classes. We're kind of finishing up getting those selected and get those posted soon. As you guys know, it is January 19th through 22nd in Kansas City. So make your hotel reservations, get your plane tickets, and we can't wait to see everybody there.
You don't do any block rates for the hotel rooms for any cheaper prices?
There is a block. If you go to the asti.us under the travel, I'm not sure exactly what the menu item is, but there is a link to the Kansas City for the hotel for a discounted rate. Yes.
Okay.
So you can get those. The room block is open, so you can go ahead and make reservations. And if you're in the Midwest, consider coming by train. It's right there by Union Station. You can consider that. And of course, we do hope we draw some more of our Midwest people, since it is a drivable from a lot of areas. And then we hope to announce the 2027 location before sometime in the next few months. We'll announce it, and it will be warm.
Hawaii?
Not Hawaii. Well, I wish Hawaii. No, not Hawaii, but we're working on that, finishing that up here pretty soon. Okay. But we look forward to seeing everybody there.
Is the date, are the dates going to be different?
It's
for
January.
2026?
It's Monday through Thursday.
No, not this
January-
one, the following one.
The following will probably be like the first week of February is what it's probably going to be. We're trying to
Because
move
it's
a
better,
little late.
because lately it's been too close to the holidays. Everybody's
I know.
burning the time and all that.
Yeah.
But the
We're
later
trying
one-
to, we are trying to push it later. So
Good.
we're slowly get it out there. That's a question. We're going to start asking kind of like one question surveys, one question things of our members over time as we keep going is what month you guys really would prefer ASTI to be in. January, obviously right after the holidays, really tough. And limits places we can go. So we want to kind of get some feedback on what from your schedules and your busyness, what you think would work best as we kind of look far out, because we are planning to start booking like 2 and 3 years in advance. Okay. All right.
Good.
Well, good to
Nice.
see you all. We'll see you. We are doing next Wednesday a webinar, which will be on Zoom because we want everyone to be able to get on about using the service library. So we watch for information for that to come to your email. And then the next week we have another laundry room in this format. So we look forward to seeing you all there and have a great evening. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Everybody have a good day, evening.
Take care.